What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a good one coming at you today. This weekend, we have Jake Paul versus the Mike Perry going down this Saturday. And to be honest with you, I'm super excited for this one. Let's get into the video. What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Like I said, guys, this weekend we have Jake Paul versus Mike Perry going down this Saturday. Now, we all know Jake Paul was supposed to fight the one and only Mike Tyson. Now, I think Mike Tyson is closer to like 60, I think. Wait a second. Let me fact check that. Hey Siri, how old is Mike Tyson? 58 years old. Okay, so fairly close to 60 years old. And to be honest with you, I'm really glad that he's not fighting. I think he had some medical issues. I know that was a whole hype around Jake Paul's next fight. They were talking about it for the past year and a half, I think, and everybody was hyped up for it. But to be honest with you, I'm glad it's not happening, because even though we all know how tough Mike Tyson was back in his prime, and I mean, even till today, I wouldn't want to get gloves on him and dish it out with him. But that said, he is almost 60 years old. He's 58 years old, doesn't have the reflexes, even though you've seen a lot of social media footage of him hitting mitts. That's different when you're out there and you're getting punched in the face. Now, I'm not saying he can't take any hits, but I wouldn't want to see a 58-year-old taking damage like that. Now, the fight's not happening because I think Mike Tyson had some medical issues, so glad that isn't happening. Now, would I like to see that in Mike Tyson's prime? Who wouldn't want to see him fight Jake Paul in his prime? The dude is probably at one point in time the scariest man on the planet. I remember as a kid at my aunt's house in Texas watching him fight Holyfield and him biting Holyfield's ear off. I was at awe of what happened. I remember my dad sitting there saying, you know, I will never watch a Mike Tyson fight again. But we ended up watching a Mike Tyson fight because the dude was always exciting and always knocking people out. He was just ferocious. But I digress. I'm glad the fight's not happening. I don't want to see a man who has a legacy as tremendous as it is be diminished by losing to, could possibly, and I'm not saying you would, but you never know, possibly lose to my man Jake Paul. Let's talk about Jake Paul for a second. I wasn't saying that Jake Paul isn't a legit boxer. I mean, like 10, 15 years ago, this dude got popular off of Vine. Some of you guys are alive today who don't even remember Vine. That's how far back it goes. Goes to Vine, he gets popular on YouTube, and now the dude is a legit professional fighter. I'm actually proud of the guy. For a guy to go from, you just YouTubing it, which is what I'm doing, which is a lot of fun, but to go in the opposite direction though. Me being a professional fighter first, getting into the YouTube, he's complete opposite. He was Vine, YouTube, now a professional fighter. To be able to see the growth in this guy and the dedication, the indomitable spirit that this guy puts into his craft, it's amazing, man, to see him come so far in such a short amount of time. He looks better and better every time I see him fight, which is awesome. The dude's beefed up though. The guy's put on some weight, because I think he was, he was supposed to fight Mike Tyson, so he looks really beefy, looks comfortable, looking fresh, looking clean, and he's a very clean boxer. Now, if you go back and watch a lot of guys who, especially the YouTube boxing matches, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, probably one of the sloppiest fights I have ever seen in my life. Guys who literally look like they were just raised behind a computer their entire lives. Jake Paul is not that way. He's a legit athlete. He's a very good athlete, so he's picked it up very well. You gotta hand it to him, man. He's improving every day. He's a very clean boxer. He's not a brawler. He's got good technique. He can go for days. He's gone the long distance rounds. We know he can be there. Now let's talk about Mike Perry for a second. Now Mike Perry, had a run at MMA, was in the UFC. I think his record was like 14-8, but the dude is just a dog. This is the type of fighter that you literally just take his leash off and just say, go fight, and he will just go fight. Anybody, anywhere, any flipping time. He did fairly well. He beat some really good guys, but at the same time, he started to lose. People started to figure him out, and he relied a lot on his toughness. And in the game of technique and skill, that wasn't his realm. Right? I think his realm is what he's doing now. Boxing, but not just the boxing, but the bare knuckle boxing, where he can really rely on his toughness to beat guys. I mean, he's beat MVP, Luke Rockhold, Thiago Alves. He's beat some really tough guys in the bare knuckle fighting. Not because he was the most technical, but he's just tough, man. Mike Perry's the type of guy who is willing to take punishment, knowing that when you get hit, you know, most guys aren't willing to take that type of punishment. They're looking for a way out. I don't know if you saw the Luke Rockhold fight, but I think he hit Luke Rockhold several times, and he was like, bro, I'm done with this. Screw this, man. I don't think I would ever do bare knuckle fighting. Yeah, man, it's a real tough man sport. And to be honest with you, I don't want to get hit with a bare knuckle to my face. Mike Perry, he's all for it. He's not afraid to go out there, take a ton of punishment when most people don't, and just eat it up. That's how he beats people. Now, what does Jake Paul and Mike Perry have to do to win the fight? Now, to be honest with you, I think it's obvious what each guy needs to do to win the fight. But let's talk about it. Let's break it down just a little bit. Starting off with Jake Paul. Jake Paul, he's got 8 rounds to get this fight done. 8 3-minute rounds. He's just got to play the game. He ain't got to rely too much on toughness. You're not going bare knuckle out there. Now, Mike Perry does hit hard, but I do believe Jake Paul is the more technically sound fighter. He's very clean. He's crisp. You got to stay calm and patient out there, Jake Paul. I know you know this, but it's coming from Steve Wonderboy Thompson, so you got to tune in. Now, Jake Paul, like I said, very clean boxer. All this dude's got to do is keep Mike Perry at bay, all right? He's got to keep him at bay and stick him with the long punches. Let Mike Perry walk into strikes. Now, Mike Perry does well when he's coming forward. He does very well. Now, that could be dangerous for Mike Perry. If Jake Paul plays his cards right and get Mike Perry kind of following him down that rabbit hole, Mike Perry can definitely eat a right hand or a left hand right down the pipe. Could put him to sleep. He's got the power to do so. So I think Jake Paul, he's got 8 rounds to get it done. I think he just plays the game. Pick him apart like he's done every other guy that he's faced. Yes, he's got some knockouts, but with the more experienced guys, he's gone the distance. You know, with the Anderson Silvas and the guys like him, he's gone the distance and he's won by points. I think for him to win the fight, a given, he's just got to be patient and play the boxing game. Now, I'm not saying the knockout can't happen, but don't look for it, Jake Paul, all right? Let it happen. If you stun the guy, going for the kill, but don't look for the knockout. Sometimes when you go out there and you're looking for the knockout and it doesn't happen, it can mess with you mentally. So I think what Jake Paul's got to do, I think he's got to pick his shots. I think he's got to weather the storm because I think Mike Perry is going to come out hard and fast trying to get the fight over with, and I think he can win the fight by just taking his time, piecing him up, finessing him up. Now, what does Mike Perry got to do to win the fight? Mike Perry, listen to me, dog. You must be the dog in this fight. Make it ugly. Get in Jake Paul's face. Hang on the guy. Dirty box at this guy. All right? Hang on him. Pull on the head. You might get warned every now and then, but that's what messes with his head. In order for Mike Perry to win this fight, I don't think you should play the technical game. I think he's got to be mean. I think he's got to get in his face and tire him out by just hanging on him, clinching him up, and he can end up landing that shot. I think from those clinch positions, because he's most powerful from those looping strikes, which is what we've seen in the past. That's why the dude is the bare knuckle fighting champion. He just hits dudes with raw power. Now, in this fight, Mike Perry, you're gonna have to be more defensively sound. You can't hold your hands down here. You gotta hold your hands here. You gotta block, you gotta parry. Be smart with your defense. But be the dog, my young grasshopper. Get in his face, hang on him, and dirty box this dude. I think he can win the fight if he makes it dirty. If he goes out there and tries to outbox a boxer, I don't think he's gonna win. So, type in the comments down below who you think is gonna win this fight and how, because Steve Wonderboy Thompson wants to know. Those are my 2 cents, keeping this video short. Hopefully you tune in this Saturday for the fight. I'm excited for this one. Hit that subscribe button, throw some comments down below. Peace.